Lesson 1. Development of Computer. You will learn about early calculating devices, generation of computers, computer languages. Nowadays, computer has become such a basic necessity. But can you think about life without a computer? In early times, when there were no computers for doing calculations, our ancestors used stones, pebbles, and fingers for counting. A computer is a modern invention, and before it arrived, there were some calculating devices that led to the development of computers. Let us learn about them. Early calculating devices. Abacus. The abacus is probably the first counting device. It was invented about 5,000 years ago in China. The abacus was the first mechanical device used for calculations, especially arithmetical calculations. It is made up of a wooden frame with rods, and each rod contains beads. Counting on the abacus is done by sliding the beads across the rods. The rods in abacus are divided into two parts. The upper part is called heaven, and lower one is called earth. Napier's bones. In 1617, a Scottish scientist named John Napier invented a calculating device based on the principles of logarithms. Napier used the rods of bone for doing counting. Pascal's calculator. It is also known as the arithmetic machine or Pascaline. It is the first mechanical calculator in the world and was invented by a French mathematician called Louis Pascal in 1642. It is made up of wheels and gears and can handle decimal values by rotating a wheel from 1 to 9 steps. The meters used in taxi are examples of Pascaline. Leibniz calculator. A German mathematician called Gottfried Leibniz in 1671 made some change on Pascal's calculator. This calculator performs not only addition and subtraction, but multiplication, division, and square roots are also performed in this calculator. Father of modern computer, Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage is known as the father of the computer. Charles Babbage was a British mathematician who designed the analytical engine in 1833. The analytical engine is an engine powered by a huge steam engine that can handle large amount of data and process it at high speed. Charles Babbage is the one who provided the idea of storing and reading the information before processing it, and this became the root of development of all modern computers. Herman Hollerith. In 1890, an American statistician invented a machine called the tabulating machine. The tabulating machine is able to read data, process it, and provide the desired output. It is completely based on input, process, output, IPO cycle. This machine could read both numbers and letters. Ada Lovelace. An English mathematician and writer, Lady Augusta Ada Lovelace worked on the analytical engine of Charles Babbage. She is known as the first computer programmer or mother of computer programming, who developed logarithms for analytical engine so as to calculate a sequence of numbers. Braindoze. The first game was created in 1961, but it did not make any money. ENIAC and UNIVAC. ENIAC. ENIAC stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Calculator. Two American scientists called John W. Moseley and John Presper Eckert designed this machine in 1946. ENIAC is different from earlier machines as it used decimal digits instead of binary digits. It was the first high-speed electronic digital computer, EDC. UNIVAC first. Moseley and Eckert in 1951 developed the UNIVAC first, Universal Automatic Computer. It was the first commercial electronic computer which could work with both numerical and textual data. Generation of computers. The modern computer had developed generation by generation, marked by the development of new technology in each generation. Based on these, computer generations are divided into 5 generations. First generation computer. The computers that were developed during the period of 1941 to 1956 are called first generation computers. One of the earliest and largest computers is the Colossus, which was used by Britishers in Second World War to decode enemy messages. These computers used vacuum tubes and magnetic drums and were very large and expensive. These computers also consumed a huge amount of electricity. ENIAC and UNIVAC First are examples of first-generation computers. Machine language was used in these computers. Second-generation computers. The computers that were developed during the period from 1956 to 1963 are called second-generation computers. These computers are better than first-generation computers as they used transistors instead of vacuum tubes. Computers of this generation are smaller in size as transistors are smaller than vacuum tubes. They were also faster and cheaper. Advantages of second-generation computers. They consumed less power than first-generation computers. They have faster programming. These computers were used in the atomic energy industry. IBM 7000, IBM 650, and Atlas are some of the second-generation computers. Both machine and assembly language are used in these computers. Third-generation computers. The computers that were developed during the period from 1964 to 1971 are called third-generation computers. During this period, integrated circuits, ICs, and smaller transistors were developed and they were placed on silicon chips called semiconductors. This feature helped to increase the speed of the computer. These computers can run different programs at the same time and the common man could now use computer. IBM 1130 and UNIVAC 1107 are examples of third-generation computers. High-level programming languages are used in these computers. Fourth-generation computers. The computers that are being developed from 1970 till the present time are called the fourth-generation computers. Microprocessors were used in this generation of computers as thousands of integrated circuits were built onto a single silicon chip. These computers are fast and efficient and so widely in use. The computer on your tables is a fourth-generation computer. The mouse and joystick were developed during this period. These computers can be interlinked together in a network, which led to the development of the Internet. IBM 4341, DEC-10, Star 1000 are some examples of this computer generation. High-level programming languages are used in these computers. Fifth-generation computers. The fifth-generation computers are called supercomputers. Because of their high storage capacity, speed, and efficiency, they are called supercomputers. Many CPUs are connected together in a supercomputer in order to carry out large number of scientific operations in a very short interval of time. Supercomputers are now being developed in such a way that they can think on their own. This is called artificial intelligence. Robots work on this technology. Computer languages. Language is the medium of communication. To communicate with a computer, we need a common language which we call as computer language. A computer language is a language that computer can understand. As all humans around the world communicate with each other using a language like English, Hindi, etc., similarly, computer communicates with the help of a computer language. We need to give data and instructions to the computer in such a way that it understands. We do so using a programming language. A programming language consists of all the symbols, characters, and usage rules that allow us to communicate with computer. A program is a set of instructions that tells the computer what to do. As computer is a machine, it does not understand our language. It understands only binary codes, that is 0, off state, and 1, on state. Types of computer languages. Machine language, first generation language, 1GL. Machine language is the most basic type of computer language. This language is coded in binary language which is made up of zeros and ones. 0 represents off state, means there is no electrical pulse, whereas 1 represents on state, means there is an electrical pulse. While writing a program in machine language, every instruction has to be written in zeros and ones only. The programs written in machine language are called object programs. Machine language provides the advantage of very high speed and less memory utilization. Machine language is also known as low-level language, LLL. Assembly language. Second-generation languages, 2GLs. Assembler, assembly language, machine code. Coding a program in machine language or binary form is very difficult. To overcome the difficulties of writing codes in machine language, assembly language was introduced in 1950s by Grace Murray Hopper. This language used symbolic codes instead of zeros and ones, binary codes, which are called mnemonics or symbols. These mnemonics are used to write the instructions. A mnemonic is a short name given to an instruction. For example, sum for addition and sub for subtraction. The program written in assembly language has to be translated into machine language so that computer can understand it. Assembler is the software program that translates assembly language into machine language. Programs written in assembly language or in mnemonic codes are called source programs. Assembly language, assembler, machine language. High-level languages, third-generation languages, 3GLs. High-level languages use English language words in order to give instructions to the computer. Presently, programs are written in high-level languages more as compared to assembly language. A software program called compiler, interpreter is used to translate high-level language program into machine language program. Some examples of high-level languages are Logo, Basic, C, C++, Java, etc. The advantages of high-level languages are that they are easier to learn, read, and write. They are easier to maintain. The programs written in this language can be executed on any other computer. High-level language, compiler, or interpreter, machine language. Fourth-generation languages, 4GLs. These languages are close to human language than any other high-level languages. Fourth-generation languages are commonly used in database programming and scripts. Examples of 4GLs are Perl, PHP, Python, Ruby, and SQL. Fifth-generation language, 5GLs. These are programming languages that contain visual tools to help in developing a program. Examples of 5GLs are Mercury, OPS5, and Prolog. BrainDOS, Location Identifier Separation Protocol, LISP was the first computer language for writing artificial intelligence program. Quick recap. Abacus is probably the first counting device. Pascal's calculator is the first mechanical calculator in the world. Charles Babbage is known as the father of computer who designed the analytical machine. Lady Augusta Ada Lovelace is known as first computer programmer. ENIAC and UNIVAC 1 are first-generation computers. The computers developed during 1956 to 1963 are called second-generation computers and use transistors instead of vacuum tubes. Third-generation computers use a better technology called integrated circuits inside them. The computer on your table is a fourth-generation computer. Fifth generation computers are called supercomputers. A computer language is a language that computer can understand. Machine language is the lowest and most basic type of computer language. The language of mnemonics code is called assembly language. To translate high-level language into machine language, compiler or interpreter is needed. 4GLs include PHP, Python, SQL, etc. and 5GLs include Mercury, Prolog, etc.